You're watching Closing Bell on the world leader in business news, CNBC. The Closing Bell continues. Once again, Maria Bartiromo.
Well, here's a subject that gets people fired up and heated up. Walmart in New York City, once again, forget about it. A big real estate developer has reportedly dropped plans to include a Walmart and a shopping complex plan for this site in the borough of Queens. The New York Times says opposition from neighborhood, labor, and environmental groups prompted the developer's decision. Neither Walmart nor the developer is commenting. That kind of opposition is making it harder for Walmart to expand in the United States. But, of course, along with opponents, Walmart also has many admirers. Here to talk about the positives and negatives of Walmart, Liza Featherstone is with us. She's written Selling Women Short, the landmark battle for workers' rights at Walmart. And Michael Bergdahl, his book is What I Learned from Sam Walton, How to Compete and Drive in a Walmart World. Nice to have you both with us. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Liza, let me begin with you. What is your problem with Walmart?
Well, I think that Walmart is not good for America, Maria.
Let me stop you right there, Liza. Let me stop you right there. How else are we going to get prices below any other? I mean, you're talking about the lowest prices. Walmart is one of the key reasons we're not seeing inflation. The company offers the lowest price on all sorts of things, whether it's electronics or food.
Sure.
Why is that a bad thing?
Well, I think that that's a very good question. And I think the important thing to remember is those prices come at a cost. That Walmart workers are paid very low, $8 to $10 an hour in many places, and that is not enough to lift many workers over the poverty line.
Is anybody forcing them to work there, Liza?
The issue of choice is often brought up with relation to Walmart, and the fact is that in a lot of places, Walmart has driven other employers out of business, other retailers, and often Walmart is the only game in town, unfortunately.
Isn't that, though, the beauty of America, that one company could be so competitive and drive somebody else out of business? This is a competitive environment. This is America.
Absolutely. You know, what I'm seeing in Queens, I think the real losers today are the consumers. All these special interest groups are out lobbying for their own causes, and the consumers haven't had a chance to speak. In America today, 150 million customers cross Walmart's thresholds every week of the year, and I think they vote with their feet going into those stores. And I think that Queens would have had a lower cost of living, all of the people living there, and I think there were real advantages to them opening a store in Metro New York.
Michael, give me a break. Come on. You're talking about employees making $8 an hour. They can't even get over the poverty level.
Well, let's be honest here. I don't believe that if Walmart comes into Queens or one of the other boroughs in New York that they're going to pay those kind of wages. They're going to pay the kinds of wages necessary to attract, retain, and motivate a workforce, Maria. And in fact, if they had opened that store in Queens, you would have seen a line of 5,000 people trying to get jobs at Walmart.
I think if you saw Walmart agreeing to pay decent wages and to pay a fair share of employee benefits, I don't think you'd see that kind of opposition to it in New York, honestly.
Yeah, Michael,
I think they were kept out because they wouldn't talk about fair labor practices.
Yep.
What we're seeing at Walmart is really an attempt to go back to the 19th century. You know, they've been accused in lawsuits in over 30 states of forcing employees to work off the clock, locking the doors so employees can't leave, and they just a massive child labor lawsuit with having minors work on unsafe equipment.
Liza. The fact is that it's a free enterprise system, and when Walmart comes into a market, people have a choice they can make whether or not they want to go to work for the company. Walmart's going to do a survey of the wages in the local area and find out what other retailers are paying, and they're going to pay wages that are going to allow them to staff a workforce. These stores have 500 employees.
Yeah.
If they weren't paying a wage that was acceptable, people wouldn't work there.
You know what? Let me throw some numbers at you, okay? Walmart market cap, $223 billion market cap. Company has 1 million employees. We're talking about huge earnings. They could afford to pay more money for the employees. How come they haven't?
Of course they could.
Even in the face of all this criticism, why no change?
Of course they could, and why no change is because they haven't been forced to change until now that they're facing all this opposition, moving into new communities, moving into urban areas. Perhaps that will force them to change.
I think if you were to go out to the shopping malls in the New York metropolitan area, go to the Target stores, go to the Home Depot stores, and compare wages to what Walmart would pay in that metropolitan area, you'd find Walmart's wages were at average or slightly above what other retailers are paying. Walmart is not a manufacturer. Walmart is not a company that is producing widgets against GE and companies like that. The kinds of people that work in the store provide customer service. It's a pull-through operation where the customer goes in and gets what they want, and the service is provided by people who are not at a minimum wage. They're paid a fair wage for the kind of work they're performing.
You know what? Lee Scott, the CEO of Walmart, was speaking at a town hall meeting in Los Angeles last night. Listen to what he had to say.
In fact, even if you stop Walmart, other value retailers will in fact fill the void. You can't pass enough laws. You can't pass enough regulations to stop customers from seeking or expecting value.
Isn't that true, Liza?
Well, I think I would say that you can't. I think there's an assumption that this certain kind of job has to be poorly compensated, and I don't see why that has to be our assumption. If these are the kinds of jobs that our economy is producing, why shouldn't they be fairly compensated? There's no reason to say that a retail worker has to be poorly paid. Look at supermarket workers. For years, unionized supermarket workers made decent wages. They sent their kids to college. Like, isn't that the American dream? You know, that you work hard and you have a fair chance of not only supporting your family, but also succeeding and moving up in the world.
Michael.
Like, why shouldn't the employees of the nation's largest private employer have that opportunity?
You know, if you look at the kinds of jobs we're talking about, and you look at the supermarket industry, Maria, you and I could go to a supermarket today and learn to scan groceries in about 5 minutes. In fact, a lot of retailers have self-scanning. You pay positions based on the content of the work that people are performing. And the grocery wage structure is a great comparison, Liza. It's out of line. The paradigm has shifted in retailing. The paradigm has shifted in the airline industry. The paradigm shifted in the steel industry in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And when that happens, companies and labor organizations have to shift with it, or they get into a position where they're non-competitive. And that's part of what's happening right now. Couple that with the fact that when Walmart lowers its costs, it passes the savings along to the customer in everyday low prices.
Well, that's certainly one positive side of the story. Thanks so much to you both. We appreciate this informed and dynamic, healthy debate. Good to talk to you.
Thank you
so
very
much,
much.
Maria.
Michael Bergdahl, author of What I Learned from Sam Walton, How to Compete and Thrive in a Walmart World.